For those with good taste.
What is up, tasties and tastettes? Welcome back to another movie review. It's your boy Lenny, joined again, as always, by D33 Ray and the Marlboro Man himself, Dante. And this week, ladies and gentlemen, love hurts. Damn, does it hurt.
C'est la vie. Am I right?
If love has hurt you before, though, make sure to, drop a like down below so it's not hurting us as well. But don't drop a dislike. You could always subscribe, hit the notification bell, tell a friend, ask a friend as well. We'd appreciate that.
Yeah, share the love.
Yes.
Hurts.
Yes. I thought you were thinking rental company for a second there. Hurts.
Jalen?
So what's his name again? Short round?
Marvin Gable?
No. Well, in the movie, it's Marvin Gable. What's his name?
Kiwi Kwan. Kiwi Kwan.
Okay, got
Kiwi
it.
Kwan.
Yeah, so he's made his return. His return a couple of years ago now has gained a lot of popularity, a lot of traction. Gotten an Academy Award or an Oscar. Which one was it?
Yeah,
Oscar. Got that one, and now is getting leading roles in movies like this. How'd you guys feel about him as an action star?
I mean, I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once, and this felt like he was playing the same character.
Is that true? Have you seen it?
I never saw that.
Oh, damn. Put it on the list. Yeah, I guess I hadn't seen that, so I didn't know that he played that kind of character in that. I don't picture him as an action guy necessarily. I think the Loki role is more what I envision him as.
Yeah, the Ouroboros.
Right?
Yeah.
And so this movie is relatively quick. What, it's an hour and 23 minutes, I think. Have we seen a shorter movie recently? This is more a question for you, Dante.
You think of Valiant 1.
Flight Risk.
Valiant 1.
I think that was an hour and 27 minutes.
So this was still shorter?
Yeah.
Okay. But anything else?
Shorter than an hour 23?
Yeah. The only other one I'm wondering is the Taipei movie I saw, Weekend in Taipei. I'm wondering if that was about this length.
I never watched that one, so I don't know.
Yeah. It's unusually short for a movie. I feel like I'm getting this month has been, or I guess January more so now into February, has been hour and a half or less for every movie possible, which is props to them. But so this movie wastes no time throwing you in to the plot.
Yeah, it pretty much just jump straight into it because it has to.
Yeah, what do you think? We had 10 minutes of setup?
If that.
Yeah, more or less. I think just moving from to his real estate house to his job, and then boom, story starts.
Have you seen any of the controversy around this movie?
There's controversy?
It's not controversy is a loose term, I suppose, in this. But so the movie has received a 16%. I can't remember which direction this is. I think it's 16% Rotten Tomatoes, and maybe it's 64 or 65% on audience score.
Interesting.
I saw somebody say it was the worst movie they've seen all year.
Yeah, you're right. 19% Rotten Tomatoes, 63% audience score.
So it's another one of those interesting ones. Which side do you guys fall on?
I mean, it was enjoyable.
I'm probably somewhere in between.
I think it's a very lighthearted movie that I could easily see myself just watching again some random day.
I don't think it's a great movie, but I enjoyed it for the most part.
What were the drawbacks for you?
I just feel like it felt very cheesy.
Explain.
I don't know. There wasn't anything great in the realm of acting. Everything felt very cheesy, almost like a parody movie kind of thing.
I can see that. I think some of the acting out of what's her face, Ariana DeBose, was more so cheesy than anything. She was granted, I think this is just kind of a movie, just suspend your belief, but she was just a very unbelievable type of character.
Yeah, I'm not even going down that.
I think all of the characters are kind of like Killer's Game. a little bit.
It felt similar, yeah.
Where nobody's written to be like a serious character. Like everybody's kind of that like they're written to be turned up to 11 for like their archetypes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you get 3 supposed like, I don't know, hitmen or killers like outside, like hunting them down between. You have somebody called the Raven who throws knives and like feathers and stuff like that.
But also cites poetry.
Yeah.
It makes sense, the name and all that.
And then you got the duo of like Marshawn Lynch and
whoever
the other guy was.
Why does the name make sense?
Well, quote the Raven, nevermore. The Raven's Edgar Allan Poe poem. Like I feel like a guy who writes poetry would also throw feathers as his main
Feathers and quills
type of weapon. You know, like I think it lines up. He's pretty on point with his names. He was the most formidable foe of any of them, right?
Yeah. Dude, his like boot knife thing to his arm was the coolest like weapon and thing throughout the entire
I thought
movie.
that the feathers were pretty sick, honestly, like the way he was throwing them and stuff. He has like kind of like,
because then like Marvin tries to throw one and it just like falls and it's like
it reminds me of two things. It reminds me of Gambit a little bit, and it also reminds me a little bit of from Guardians.
Oh, Yondu?
Yeah, like a little bit of that, right? Yeah, so I think I'm somewhere more close to I'm with both of your opinions. I think they're kind of one and the same, where I think it was a relatively mediocre movie, and I think at the end of the year it's going to fall mid to bottom part of the list because there's nothing super memorable to the experience to me. I think if there was a drawback for me, is this the most Jackie Chan a movie has felt in the past like 30 years?
I was thinking that the whole time. Is like just the way the fight scenes looked, it looked very Jackie Chan-esque.
And I think the drawback for me became like all I could think was Jackie Chan, and then I'm now comparing it, and I'm like, nobody
You're
can
not
make
Jackie Chan.
Yeah, nobody can. No disrespect, but nobody can make a Jackie Chan movie better than Jackie Chan can. And like all of the little jokes in like the faces in between the fights, and I'm like when he's holding on to the picture frame.
Yeah,
like Jackie Chan has done that exact stunt in Rush Hour, in fucking Rumble in the Bronx. Like he's done it in
it's
a million.
very much Jackie Chan.
Yeah, like so. I think the thing for me that holds the movie back a little bit is just it felt like a love letter to Jackie Chan, but in a way I think that restricted how it didn't really stand on its own at all for me. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going into it thinking that it was a serious movie to really.
Yeah, but I didn't envision the Jackie Chan thing until like I'm in the movie and I'm watching the way it's playing.
So it took you
out.
away from it. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think that didn't hit me while I was watching the trailers. Like it looked like just another action comedy kind of in the trailers.
Yeah.
And then I think it was the scene with the
in the
picture
house.
frame of the house that was when I first was like, well, this feels a lot like that, you know? And it makes you. I hope that we get more movies like this, you know, like it's a genre of movie that I think is missing from, you know, pop culture now is kind of that like slapstick
goofy action movie.
like
yeah.
martial arts movie, like, and I'm happy to still get them. I just don't, I don't know who fills that void now. Like, there's no actors that really fit that, and I maybe that's where this also feels forced in making him that character, where I didn't see him as that martial arts guy before this.
I don't know. Like I said, I think it just kind of fills a gap of a type of martial. We haven't gotten really a martial arts focused Western movie in a long time. I don't even know the last thing I can.
Are there still martial arts stars, like even like internationally, like? It is, you know, because obviously early 2000s, late 90s is like peak. Obviously, you come off Bruce Lee, but then
Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, Jet Li.
Yeah. Tony Jaa.
Yeah.
Michael Jai White. I mean, even you trickle down to the Steven Seagals, the Jean-Claude Van Dammes, the Chuck Norrises. Like there was a lot of guys that were building their name off of like those hand-to-hand fight scenes in the early 2000s, late 90s, and I feel like that peaked out in about mid 2000s, maybe around like Unleashed featuring Jet Li. Was that like, well, I guess like Jackie Chan still is like fucked around a little bit since then, but his movies haven't been really taken seriously outside of maybe The Foreigner.
And The Foreigner was what, like 2014?
Yeah.
Around there?
Maybe like Statham's keeping it alive.
No.
Yeah, Beekeeper last year. That kind
In
of
general, his
no,
movies are still
martial
very
arts.
like he's
kicking
performing
ass.
some martial arts, brother. Have you seen Beekeeper?
Yes, I have.
Then you know there was martial arts in that. Come on, dude. You performed a ton of martial arts on that guy who stole all the money from that old woman.
Claire Huxtable.
What was the plot to this movie?
What was it? His
Hiding ain't living.
Got it. That's their Fast and the Furious line.
Yeah.
He was an assassin for his brother, and then he was tasked with taking out their accountant for embezzling money, but he didn't kill her. And then they found out.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was a whole revenge thing.
And then he was going to kill them anyways. So, yeah. Like the money thing became pretty convoluted in there somewhere for me. Like I didn't really understand the reveal of her at the end with the Russians very much either.
Yeah, dude. So obviously, like that's who they were partially embezzling money from. But dude, that got so just confusing. Where it's like, I don't know his name, but the guy from Never Back Down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, who's like the universal throwaway bad guy. I realized while watching this.
But like the whole thing was just like he was stealing money from Alvin.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day,
Who's Alvin?
the brother,
the brother,
big bad
what's
brother.
Knuckles?
Knuckles. Yeah. So he was stealing money from Knuckles, but at the end of it, it's not like he was trying to save his own skin by killing Rose before any of the information got out. But none of that mattered. At the end, you just get this big fight scene at the bar with all of them, and no information was ever in.
It wasn't a bar, it was a video store.
Yeah, okay.
I thought it was a bar. I was sure it was a bar.
It was a video store.
Those don't exist.
Well, that's why it was cool, because it was a video store. And I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, it was very much a movie at some point. In an hour and 20 minutes, the plot doesn't matter that much anyways, I suppose. But yeah, it felt very much like a movie that, like, screw the plot. We're going to have a bunch of action sequences.
Yeah.
And I guess the final thing would be, like, that puts this over the edge is, were the fight sequences creative enough?
Creative? No.
I think the first fight with Marshawn Lynch in the house, when you're saying he's doing the Jackie Chan thing, holding the thing, I thought that fight was awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was well done.
Yeah.
I didn't mean that as like a dragging point either. It was just a visual thing that I couldn't kind of move past.
I didn't think about it like that, but like when you kind of say it, like, yeah, I've seen Jackie Chan do that little bit, like tons of times.
Like where he's like he's evading stuff while keeping the you know.
But dude, that fight in particular, there was so many just like body slams that I was just like, oh shit, like, oh, like, dude, when Marshawn Lynch does the wrestling move, picks him up, throws him, and then at one point grabs his feet and they like swing and just slam him into the island. That was throw him into a refrigerator, pick up the refrigerator and throw it across the room.
He took an absurd beating and didn't show a ton of it.
Yeah,
it felt like
I enjoyed it.
So is that the best action scene to you
in the movie?
I think it's the most memorable. So it has to be
I'm
best,
trying
right?
to think what else. Like it's that. You had the office fight the first time with the Raven, where he catches him with the pillow.
Yeah.
And then you had the video store. Is there another one?
There was also the one in the house when they came to the house. That he was trying to sell.
with the people, which is like that's like a typical kind of jokey part of it. Yeah. How about the love little sequence there with Leo Tipton?
Yeah, man. I had a big crush on them, like a long while ago.
Leo Tipton. Yeah, me too. So I think back to Crazy Stupid Love. And
Crazy Stupid Love.
Yeah.
They were in Warm Bodies.
Mm-hmm.
There was like an episode or two of like The Big Bang Theory as well.
I liked her in this. I thought she was cute. It's a weird plot device again. Like it kind of just thrown in there. Like her character doesn't play anything into the movie. It's kind of weird.
The character was a little weird. I think the cat hissing was a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it just seemed like a way to like have another like little thing to keep the character going. Actually, the last character I almost forgot about. There is one person who like kind of owns this movie, right?
Sean Astin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sean Astin. His scene when he's getting interrogated is the best acting work of this entire movie. Yeah. Right? Like he's a character who has 2 scenes in the whole film, and in that one scene you give him with the interrogation, he draws more of an emotional connection to a guy that we have no reason to have a real emotional attachment to, and to the point where he gets you to feel genuinely bad for him by the end of it, but you're like, you admire him too because he's not giving it, you know, like he's going out on his shield with pride and everything, not begging, just accepts it.
Yeah.
I thought Sean Astin was like the true standout. Too, I guess in finality, a movie that kind of, like I said, by the end of the year will fall very middle of the road. And I think it's a score that's going to change because for right now, just to talk about where we're at in the year, because we won't really do it on the full podcast, I guess. Like, I think I'm 8 movies in to the year so far.
Might be like 6 or 7.
5 here.
And this is towards the top half, but it's because I think everything I've seen so far this year has been pretty weak.
Yeah. So I have this at my highest rated movie of the year out of the 5 at 3 stars.
I have 6 movies. I have this at 4 at 2.5.
I'm at 9, and I have this at 3. And I think I have it at 2.5 stars.
I mean, the only reason I give it like 2.5 stars, I think, is a movie that's like good enough. It did what it needed to do, but I probably won't really ever go back to it.
Yeah.
Bump it up to 3, where this movie has its flaws, but like this is something that I absolutely at some point will probably just turn back on again.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think 2.5 for me is just like, it is 100% a movie that you can just throw on at any time. And I think it's a great streaming movie. I think that this movie comes out on Netflix, on Hulu. And I think I'm like going away like, oh, this is like a really good streaming movie. I think when you enter it in the realm of like movie theater movies, it's on a little bit of a different scale or curve. And that's where it comes in more at that like 2.5. And I think it'll probably just stay there. Yeah. Dante, did you give yours?
Yeah, I did. I said 4 out of 6 at 2.5 stars.
Okay. Well, let us know what you guys thought out there. Did you do the Valentine's Day double feature? Love Hurts
and Hard Eyes,
like literally Hard Eyes. Like it'll murder you. Which one hit harder for Valentine's Day? Which one got you guys laid out there? Let us know. Right, guys. We want to know. Give us the deets, like all of them. The most intimate.
Get graphic in the comments.
Yeah, we want this to look like a Pornhub comment section.
Those are not even that graphic, I feel like.
No, yeah, they're actually just telling you about like the science behind what happened.
Yeah.
And you can let us know the science by dropping a like, comment, share, and subscribe on the video. And then until next time, we out. Peace.
Peace.
For those with good taste.